All right, let's dive right into a really big idea, one that's pretty much at the heart of, well, everything we watch and listen to. The idea that finding the one is the whole point of life. But what if that's actually a huge, dangerous mistake? Let's unpack this really profound warning about where the true meaning of our life might be hiding.
So, the source material we're looking at today doesn't pull any punches. It just comes right out and says it. This quote is so direct, it kind of just stops you in your tracks, right? It goes against so much of what we're taught to believe, and it forces us to ask a really tough question. If love isn't everything, then what have we been chasing?
To really get what's being said here, let's use a metaphor. Just picture love and marriage as this perfect, juicy, beautiful piece of fruit. You see it and it looks amazing. It seems like it has everything you need: nourishment, sweetness, happiness. It's the thing everyone wants to grab.
But here's the twist in the story. Even though that fruit looks absolutely perfect on the outside, for a lot of people, taking a bite doesn't lead to health and energy. Actually, it does the opposite. It can lead to a kind of sickness, a deep pain and inner turmoil. The very thing that promised to make you whole becomes the source of your suffering.
So, what is going on here? Is the fruit just poison? Well, no. The issue isn't the fruit itself. The problem is a massive misunderstanding about what the fruit is for. And this is where we get to the core of this dangerous misconception that can cause so much pain.
And here it is, laid out plain and simple. The problem comes down to this one critical difference. The healthy, correct view is seeing love and marriage as a part of life. A beautiful part, maybe, but still just one piece of the puzzle. The misguided view, the one that makes us sick, is believing that it is all of life, the whole shebang. And the price for making that mistake, for thinking the part is actually the whole thing, is really, really high. The source uses a super strong word for it: madness. And it makes sense, right? If you build your entire house, your entire identity, on something that was only ever meant to be one room, the whole structure is just going to collapse into chaos.
Okay, so if this is so dangerous, what's the actual cost? Let's dig into the very real, very painful price people pay when they fall into this way of thinking. So let's just ask it directly. What really happens to us when we bet everything? Our whole identity, our reason for being, on a relationship or on another person? What is the tangible price for that gamble?
The source points to some pretty grim outcomes. It says, if you were to look inside psychiatric hospitals, you'd find many people suffering from this exact issue. And the pain we're talking about isn't just a bad breakup you get over in a few months. It's a deep, destructive wound that, from a spiritual viewpoint, can echo for lifetimes. It's a path of self-destruction.
This quote just nails it. It shows how the suffering becomes an inside job. Someone can hurt you once, right? That's the one blow. But it's our own minds, our obsession with that memory, that takes that one moment of pain and replays it on a loop, torturing ourselves, not just for a year, but potentially for lifetimes.
So how does that even happen? Well, first, just remembering the pain makes you suffer all over again. Then, that constant focus on the pain actually creates a pattern in your mind, and you start getting drawn to similar painful situations. And finally, in this worldview, that whole pattern gets stamped onto what's called our connecting consciousness, or tumtuksing, which basically carries that cycle of suffering forward with us. Okay, I know that was all really heavy. We've looked at the problem, and the price is devastating. But the point of all this is not to feel hopeless. It's to find the right path. So now, let's pivot to the solution. Let's talk about finding the true center of life. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If we've been told our whole lives that love is the ultimate prize, and now we're hearing that that's just flat out wrong, then what are we supposed to build our lives around? What is the actual main event? And here is the answer. The true center of your universe isn't something out there that you have to go find. It isn't another person. It's something already inside you. It's this brilliant, luminous, and knowing part of your own consciousness that's been there all along. The source gives this a name, Huetmang, which you can translate as wisdom life. This isn't just regular, everyday life. It's the awakened core of our existence that starts to emerge when we learn to see things clearly, through what's called the wisdom eye. This is presented as the real goal. So this wisdom life isn't just a cool concept. It's a direction. It is a path that you can actually walk, a way to reorient your entire life towards something that's stable, internal, and truly deeply fulfilling. And this is the final, crucial takeaway. The entire journey of your life is about cultivating that inner brilliance, that wisdom life. And love and marriage, they can absolutely be a beautiful, wonderful part of that journey. They're like that delicious fruit you can enjoy along the way, but they are not the destination.
So that brings us to the final and most important question. And this one isn't for me to answer, it's for you. If love isn't the end-all be-all, then what is? What is that brilliant, luminous center that you are building your one precious life around?